Let's start on the Greek island of Kos. It's the kind of place you see on postcards, a literal paradise. But this story is about the shadows that can creep in, even in the brightest places, and how one young woman's dream trip turned into an absolute nightmare. You see, Kos is a magnet for people from all over the world. It offers this incredible promise of work, a chance to save some money and chase your dreams, all with the Mediterranean sun on your back. For thousands of people working the summer season, it's just the perfect place to build a future. But as you've probably guessed, for one young woman, this island of dreams became the backdrop for something truly horrific. Her story is just this stark, tragic reminder that danger can hide anywhere, even in places that look like paradise. So let's get into what happened. So who was the young woman at the very heart of this story? This is Anastasia Rubinska, and this is what her life looked like right before everything went so horribly wrong. Anastasia was just 27, from Poland, and she had a really clear plan for her life. She'd come to Co only a month earlier with her boyfriend. The idea was simple: work as a waiter, save up some money, and then pursue her real dream of becoming a model. She was driven, she was friendly, and she just had this straightforward plan to work the summer and then head back home in the fall. Okay, so let's focus in on the night of June 12th, 2023. This is where the timeline of her disappearance begins, and where things started to unravel with, honestly, terrifying speed. So on her day off, Anastasia was seen at a cafe and, a bit later, at a local market. Now, she went in alone, but CCTV shows her leaving on a scooter with a man. Then, a few hours later, at 10:30 p.m., she makes this frantic call to her boyfriend. She sounded drunk, she said she felt sick, and she sent him her GPS location. He raced over there, getting there in just 5 minutes, but all he found was a dark, empty field. A little over an hour after that, her phone was found, just tossed on the side of a nearby road. And what happens next is, in its own way, almost as shocking as her disappearance. Because in those first critical hours, when every single second counts, there was just a total failure to act. 40 hours. I want you to think about that. For nearly 2 full days, the local police on Kos just refused to take this seriously. Her boyfriend is there, he's frantic, he's begging for help, and their official response was basically to write her off as just another drunk tourist who would show up eventually. 40 hours of lost time, of lost evidence, and of lost hope. I mean, the contrast here is just staggering. On one hand, you have the local police completely dismissing the case. And on the other, you have what it actually took to get an investigation going. It wasn't until the Polish embassy and even the Ministry of Justice got involved and applied some serious pressure that a real criminal investigation was finally launched. Only then did they fly in a serious crimes unit from Athens. So, once a proper investigation was finally underway, it really didn't take long for all eyes to turn to one person, the man Anastasia was last seen with. His name was Salah Houdin Shihab. He was 32, from Bangladesh, and had been living on Kos for more than 10 years. He was the guy from the CCTV footage, the one who gave Anastasia that ride on his scooter. And get this, when the police finally moved in to arrest him, they found he'd already bought a plane ticket to try and flee to Italy. And the evidence against him, wow, it was just a mountain. Investigators found Anastasia's DNA under his fingernails, a clear sign she fought for her life. They found her hair in his apartment, along with a shirt stained with her blood. His phone? It had searches for things like how to hide a body. And to top it all off, his own roommate told police that he came home that night covered in dirt and grass. It was undeniable. The search, which had brought out so many volunteers from the Polish community on the islands, came to the most heartbreaking end imaginable. 6 days after she went missing, the hope that she might still be found alive was gone. It was a volunteer, actually, who was searching a marshy area when she noticed a foul smell. She followed it and made the grim discovery. Anastasia's body was found hidden, wrapped in a sheet under an olive tree. The autopsy would later confirm she had died from asphyxiation. At that point, the investigators had everything: their victim, their suspect, and just a mountain of forensic evidence linking the two. With a rock-solid case built and the suspect behind bars, the long road to justice finally moved into the courtroom. The trial kicked off in December of 2024, and really, faced with that DNA evidence, the CCTV footage, the witness testimony, it was an open and shut case.
The jury came back with a guilty verdict, and Salah Houdin was sentenced to life in prison for the murder of Anastasia Rubinska.
But, justice in a courtroom can never, ever erase the pain of losing someone. At her funeral, Anastasia's mother, Natalia, said something that just breaks your heart. It's a reminder of the beautiful young woman whose dreams were stolen. She said, "You wanted to return rich, but you were always our greatest treasure." And that really leaves us with this one final thought. Anastasia was one of so many young people who traveled the world, working hard, trying to build a better future. Her story is just this tragic reminder of how vulnerable they can be. And it forces us to ask the question, how do we do a better job of protecting the dreamers?